My friends, we are back once again, episode 32. Can you believe it? Feels like every number that we get to, I'm like, wow, we made it to that number? That's crazy. So here we are on 32, and it is the first episode of the year. We're here. It's 2026, baby, and that's kind of crazy. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't have a whole lot to say, but we're here. It's a new year. We're going to be crushing. We're going to just keep on rolling, I guess. You know, what else can we do? So, I had an idea for today's episode because, it's a new year. It's uh, 2026. It's a new year. Let's start it out strong. And my idea was that I will go back to the first ever podcast form that we did, which was from September 29th, 2024. And I will look at those questions. I'll answer them, see how things maybe change, see if I have differing opinions on any of them, or just kind of, just see how things have changed, because I feel like we've come a long way since we started. I mean, obviously, right? It's been a couple years almost. And so I figure maybe things are different. Maybe I'll have some different thoughts. Maybe I'll have some different opinions on some of these. And so I thought it'd be an interesting, fun little thing to try. See how it goes. Will it be good? I don't know. But we're going to find out together. And I hope it'll be an interesting listen. So, without further ado, I will get into it. And the first question says, going to your first convention, what to expect / what to bring or pack? So again, the first episode we had King and myself. So now it's just me giving my thoughts on this. So my opinions on your first convention is probably going to be a lot more fun than you expect. I know many, many people who go to their first furry con and they're like, oh, I don't think this is going to be great. In fact, it's such a common story I've heard so many times. Like, I feel like most likely pretty much almost anyone feels like that. They're like, it's probably not going to be very good. And then it's like the most fun thing ever. So that would be my first point, is I would say, expect to have more fun than you're probably thinking right now. Whatever your level of fun you're anticipating. I don't want to get your hopes up, but I'm just saying it's probably going to be a lot more fun than you're predicting right now. So that's what you can expect. What to bring? We talked about, I remember, that it definitely varies on whether you're flying or driving, and I still think that's the case. Because if it's a con like a local con or one that you're driving to, you have a little more flexibility in terms of what you bring. There's certain things you can't bring on an airplane, for example, the thing I like about like local cons or cons that I'm driving to, because, BLFC wasn't local, but we did drive to it. So you have more options, but, so I like the ability to bring food, snacks, drinks, etc., which is nice if you're driving. If you're flying, you might be a little more limited, but maybe you have a friend or something there that you can say, hey, can you get me this stuff? Like someone that's local. Like last year, that's what I did for Otterly. I got stuff. Well, I mean, I guess all our people, because me and Kel and Cole, I brought stuff as well, but we were in a separate room. But Otterly said, hey, can you get me these things? Because he's flying in. And so I did that. So it worked out well. And so that's a good tool you can utilize. So I would say utilize your resources. And in this case, resources means friends or people that may be able to help you with something that you need. If you really like to make sure that you have some particular thing, then that person can help you to have that particular thing. So in general, I would say pack not too heavy. Good to leave some room in your luggage for in case you want to buy some things and etc. like that. So I would say pack pretty light. Clothes, I mean, if you need something, like badges and stuff, and some furry related things, sure. But in general, I pack pretty light, and it's very rare that you desperately need something, right? That you can't get if you have to. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather pack light rather than pack super heavy and have to bring a ton of stuff. Again, that's even more the case if you're flying, because you're kind of limited with your space. So I would say don't worry too much about that you're gonna forget something. I mean, bring your basics like you'd bring to any vacation. You know, obviously your toiletries and stuff like that, your clothes. I mean, the basic stuff. Obviously, maybe some furry things, but I wouldn't overpack. I've never really. I can't really think of a time where I said, "Darn, I wish I brought like a bunch more stuff" or something like that. Like, very rarely is the case. There's so much to do, so much to see. You don't really need to bring a whole lot. Just the basics to get you through. Bring yourself, bring your energy, get some good rest the nights before. Make sure you're ready to go. You know, lock in mentally and physically. You know, make sure you're feeling good mentally. Make sure you leave all your baggage. Hopefully, I mean, you leave all your baggage at home in terms of like if you're going through some stuff. You know, whatever that may be. I would say try to leave that at home if possible, and just let the furry con be a getaway. Truly, and to all extents, let it be your escape. And so, you know, pack light in mentally and physically. Try to just live in the moment there and enjoy those experiences with people that, you know, safely assume, because that's how it is for me, people that you maybe only see once a year. Uh, and try to just enjoy and appreciate that fact that you have the privilege of seeing them, you know, and just enjoy that time with them. And don't worry too much about over or under bringing stuff, rather, like that you're going to forget something. Your basics, I mean, I don't really pack differently for a furry con than I do any con. Now, mind you, this is coming from a non-fursuiter. If you're a fursuiter, I mean, it still seems pretty self-explanatory. You're going to pack your fursuit and any fursuit accessories. That's, you know, pretty straightforward. I feel like it's not really rocket science. So, yeah, I would say it's really not, in my experience, much different than packing for any vacation. Now, if you don't go on vacation, you don't know how to pack for vacation. Well, you know, just bring, you know, based on the weather, bring appropriate clothing, bring any, you know, medications and stuff that you might need, obviously, your toiletries, etc. But try not to worry too much. Pretty much anything you need. I mean, there are options, right? Like, even you come to LVFC and you forget something, there's plenty of stores you can go and pick up some toothpaste or something stupid that you need, or you got, you know, roommates, most likely. You'll get something from someone. Don't worry too much about if you forget. Try not to stress. I mean, you know, try to remember everything if you can, but don't stress too much. Don't let that make your pre-con, you know, experience super stressful and stuff. Thankfully, I don't really, you know, think I really have stressful pre-cons. I think usually I go in with a pretty good mindset and, you know, hope for the best, and usually you're gonna get it. I think. I think anyway. That's my motto. Maybe that's a little optimistic. Yeah, it could be. It could be. But I've been known to be a little too optimistic at times. So, alas, that's my fatal flaw. What can I do? I can do nothing. But yeah, I think that's a good way to touch upon that question. All right, next one. How did the Pokemon Raichu resonate you when you were choosing a persona? So yeah, this is a great question, and it's good that well, actually, I don't remember if King talked about like how Red Pandas resonated with him. Actually, I think he did. Maybe I'm vaguely remembering that he might have. But anyway, the Pokemon Raichu resonated with me. I mean, I've always been a fan of Raichu. I like the Pokemon. So there's that. And I've talked about it before, but like my previous Sona was an Electrike because I joined a Pokemon chat room with an Electrike icon because I liked the Pokemon, not because I was a furry. I didn't know that it was a furry chat room. And they said, "Oh, you're Electrike. Cool deal." I was not Electrike, but I became Electrike then. And for years lived as Electrike. But becoming Raichu is really like the like this I resonate with. And yeah, Raichu is, I don't know, it just felt like the right fit. And I don't know if there's I don't know if there necessarily needs to be like a large, you know, thing like, oh, they're smart like me or something, you know what I mean? Like, for me, the vibe is just there. I mean, I do think Raichu is kind of like cool. He's kind of, but he's that's one thing I like about Raichu, right? He's kind of cute, right? He's a cutesy little guy, right? He's kind of cute, but he's also kind of cool and like badass type, which you know, gets you a man who can do both, right? That's kind of, I think, where my head would be at if I had to choose a reason. That he really encompasses coolness and cuteness, and I think that's a good thing to aspire to be. you can be cool and you can be cute, and it was just the right vibe. Yeah, people often ask me like if Raichu's my favorite Pokemon, and he's definitely one of them. I don't know if I would say he's my all-time favorite, but he's definitely the one that I feel like fits me the best. And obviously, these days we don't, I don't think I have Raichu art like as an icon anywhere. I'm Raiju everywhere. But I definitely resonate a lot with the Pokemon. And I think streaming in particular, I've talked about this before, but I didn't really resonate with the Raichu model on my VTuber model. And so it became harder for me to resonate with the character himself when I never when I spent most of my time streaming or like around people that know me through streaming, if that makes sense. And so I was losing some connection with the character because I didn't really resonate with the model. Still love Raichu, obviously. But I'm happy in my dragon era. I got my new ref sheet, and things have been going good. So no complaints there. We'll just keep on rocking, But yeah, that's where I'm at with Raichu. He just feels right, And I think it's kind of like it's kind of, and I've used this analogy before too, because like they say when you love someone, you can't necessarily describe it, right? Like a scientific analysis of why you love them. You just love them. They just feel right for you. And that's how I feel about Raichu, and how that Pokemon resonates with me. So that is why I chose him. He just felt right. And it felt right for a long time. And it still feels right, to be honest. If I didn't have Raiju and I, had to go back to that Sona, it would be like coming home. So I still feel the vibe. And electricity, right? I'm kind of an electric guy. I'm kind of energy, and I don't know. It just works. Trust me. All right. Next question says, childhood / after school snacks. So, it's interesting. I don't really like remember, like I know like it's a thing, right? Like when you're like a kid, your mom gives you snacks after school or something. I don't really remember like a vivid memory of like, oh, my mom gave me this snack all the time or anything like that on every day or anything like that. Like I don't even know if my mom freaking gave me snacks after school, maybe, but I don't know, man. Do I have a bad parent? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, one big thing, I had a lot of Triscuits. You guys know Triscuits? They're a cracker. And Triscuits and cheese. I ate a lot of those in my life. Triscuits were the popular cracker in my household. And I like Triscuits. They're good. They're like wheat crackers. They're kind of like, they have a very interesting texture, I would say. And that's kind of why I like them. They're very, I don't know, they're like satisfying to eat. Like I almost bought some. I was just at the store before filming this, and I looked at Triscuits, and I almost bought some. But I have a lot of crackers at my house already, so I didn't buy them. But they're good, and those are definitely one. I think a lot of like standard kind of snacks that many people eat, like Cheez-Its or something like that. Chips. But that's really the one that kind of stands out as, and I mean, it's not unique. I mean, Triscuits are not like, whoa, that's so indie, bro. They're not indie at all. It's like the pretty common snack. But yeah, that's one that I remember. Anything else noteworthy? Not really. Interestingly, like my house was kind of a snacking household. My mom is a snacker. I'm a snacker. To this day. But I don't really have a vivid memory of a lot of like unique snacks. So definitely just standard stuff, chips and crackers and maybe cookies sometimes. Anything else noteworthy? Not really. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's pretty much about the majority, just pretty standard stuff. One thing I ate a lot of was bologna sandwiches. You guys know bologna? My mom was a big bologna person. They still are, actually. I don't know if that's because my dad likes bologna. Or, I don't know. It's interesting. Isn't it interesting how, like, things your parents kind of, like, I don't want to say like force you to eat. That's not really true, but kind of like this is a very exaggerated word, but they like indoctrinate you into liking, and they're like, yeah, you like bologna, yeah, and I'm like, I don't really, I ate plenty of it because my mom liked it, but like to this day, like I don't really want to have bologna. You know what I mean? Like I haven't had bologna in quite a long time. I haven't lived with my mom in 13-ish years, and yeah, I haven't had bologna in at least 13, well, probably way more than that, in a long time. And I don't miss it. But it is interesting, right? Like, yeah, we're a bologna family, so you like bologna. And it's like, I don't think so. But I think that's kind of a common thing, right? You have things that your parents kind of, and I don't want to, again, I don't want to sound like my parents like forced me to eat it, but it was kind of like, yeah, you like this? And I'm like, okay. I'm like a kid. Like, my mom says I like it. Okay. Like, it's not like it's disgusting or anything. It's just not all that great. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, just getting indoctrinated by my parents into liking bologna. That's crazy. I realize, that, just so you know, I'm very self-aware of the fact that saying indoctrinated for the word is very dramatic because it's just like a food. It's not a big deal. But I said it. I can't take it back. It's there forever. Cannot be stopped. And so, alas, I'm locked in. Okay. Next question: music plus physical music collections. So I own, and I talked about this in the first episode with King, how I have a lot of physical music. I own a lot of CDs. I own even some cassettes. I own a lot of vinyls. I like physical music, and I really like physical music. In fact, I just literally, how many days ago? 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I bought the Chrono Trigger vinyl box set that came out. Or not came out, but is coming out. I bought that crap immediately. That went up for pre-order, and I bought it in 1 millisecond. So, yeah, I love physical music, and it's nice to own. It's nice to listen to, and you will never hear me say a bad thing about physical music. I have a lot of video game stuff, of course, right? We all like video game music. We're all nerds. So I like video game music, like physical stuff of it. I have a lot of normie music. I have a pretty large record collection that I inherited from my grandpa, which is, it's as you would expect. It's a lot of like older music and maybe some stuff that I don't necessarily listen to, but I'm happy to have it. It was his, and I'm honored that he chose me because he knew I liked collecting vinyls. And so, yeah, I have a lot of that. So I have normie music. I have all different genres. I have some like movie soundtracks in there. I have video game soundtracks, of course. And yeah, overall different formats. Like I said, I even own some cassettes, but a lot of CDs and a lot of vinyls. Well, yeah, I mean, I would say I have it's hard to say what a lot is, right? Because I own a lot of things, and so my lot might be different, right? Something that I don't consider a lot, you guys might be thinking like, wow, that's a lot. But I have an entire shelf full of music CDs. Well, it's mostly music CDs, like a bookshelf. And so it's probably a lot, if we're being honest. I wanted to say, oh, it's not that many, but it kind of is a lot. And then the vinyls, they're not, unfortunately, they're not very organized. I need to get like something to display them. But it's tough, there's too many, well, at least for me anyway, I've got too many things. So at some point they will be displayed on a nice shelf-like thing. But for now, they sit in boxes. And yeah, I love it. And my favorite, I don't know. I really like my Banjo-Kazooie box set that I have. I love Banjo-Kazooie. I mean, the stream was rough, but I still love Banjo-Kazooie. And so I have that box set of stuff. Just because I know he'll be listening. I have a wonderful Chrono Trigger vinyl that Kel got me for Christmas. And that's something I've really been enjoying listening to lately. And what else? I mean, those ones are great. I have the Earthbound vinyl, which is great. And yeah, I have a lot. I have a lot, and I enjoy them all on different occasions. And it definitely is different. It's a lot like popping in a game into a console in this day and age, which I also do, even though most of the games I play are on Steam, right? And it hits differently when you pull out a vinyl, you put it on your turntable. Oh, I have the Porter Robinson Nurture box set is one of my favorites as well for you Porter Robinson fans out there. That is truly an incredible set. So that one's good too. I mean, it just falls under the normie music. I was talking about normie music, but that's one that I really, really cherish. So yeah, I've got a lot, and I like physical music, and I think I always will. You know, I'm a little bit of a freak. I have freaking physical music. I have physical movies. I have physical games. Like, I like all of the above. They're all good to me, and I think I always will. What other media is there? I mean, I have physical books, not that many. Although, just since we're here, I assume maybe you guys know I have a massive video game strategy guide collection, which I also am a big fan of those. That's not the question here. But just since we're talking about it, I love those, and I think they're great as well. So yeah, I like all kinds of media in physical format. Anytime I can get media physically instead of just a download or something, I'm always all for that, because it's different to hold something in your hands, you know. And maybe that's my old guy coming out, but I think a lot of people can appreciate that. At least for the most part, anyone around my age, give or take like 10 years, probably has held physical games and stuff a fair amount in their life. You know what I mean? So like they probably have some nostalgia for it. I don't know, but that's where I'm at. I love physical music. That's a great question, Pixel. It says Pixel on the thing, so I can call you out. Very, very good question. All right. Next one says, thoughts on practicing making perfect. I think I talked about this one a fair amount last time, and I think there's still a lot to say. You know, obviously, no one's perfect, right? So I think this saying is a little bit, I mean, obviously not accurate, because you'll never be perfect. But I don't think the saying really necessarily means that, like, it's not taken literally, like, oh yeah, literally, like, you play this song enough times and you'll be perfect at it. It more so just means that as you practice, you get better. So, I mean, I guess it's up to our interpretation, right? The way that the phrase is worded, practice makes perfect. Well, you can never be perfect at anything, really. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of things, but not really. So, yeah, I think the phrase is an oversimplification, perhaps, of the idea that, you know, you work on things and you get better. And I mean, I don't think there's anything more true than that. You can be real bad. I mean, you know, there's so many like artists and stuff that I know never thought they would get to this point. Musicians, I mean, all kinds of things. There's like a million examples of that. But, you know, you keep working on something and you can be kind of good at something. And I think that's the beauty of it. Like, you know, even for me, even if you're really bad at something, like I do not know how to play music, but I did practice my ukulele, and I'm nowhere near good, obviously, but like I'm still from practice like a lot better than I probably would have ever thought I actually would be. So yeah, you can work on things, get better, and you really can accomplish like a level of goodness that you wouldn't expect to be very possible. So yeah, keep practicing. Whatever you're doing, practice it. I mean, shoot, even like speedrunning. You know, I never thought I'd do speedrunning really, but I got a couple good freaking times on obscure games, but I practiced and I find myself doing things that I didn't think were possible. I mean, obviously there's a million other things, my job or different video games and stuff, just getting a lot better, and it feels good. And I think, yeah, the idea that practicing is the key to anything. Yeah, you can be truly, truly bad at something, but through practice, you know, be quite good. Not perfect. No one's perfect, but you can be a heck of a lot better than you probably ever thought you would be. And I've definitely experienced that, and I think it's a really wonderful feeling when you go, wow, I never ever thought I would be this good. Even if it's not that great, even if it's just kind of like, I'm okay. But wow, I didn't expect to ever be okay at this. That's where I'm at with a lot of different things I've done in my life. And I think the idea that you can be okay when you thought you would never get to that point of being okay is truly a really wonderful thing. And yeah, I think it's pretty great. All right, next question. How were you like on your first days of streaming compared to now? Oh, this is a great question. Me and King talked about this a lot. So it's interesting for me, right? Because the first time I ever streamed was probably 2009. And my first time ever in front of a camera for like a content creation for YouTube would have been 2006, right? So it's my 20-year anniversary this year. Quite excited about that. But yeah, like, how was I on camera? I mean, sure, you're never as confident. And I think it really depends on the person. Like, I have been doing content creation so long, even the first time I streamed, I felt a level of confidence that I think most people probably don't. And also, again, the challenge for me is, right, a lot of people would say like, oh, my first time streaming was last year, and they remember it well. I'll be honest, I don't fucking remember, excuse my language, I don't fucking remember 2009. Was I worse than I am now? I'm sure. But do I think I was probably pretty dang passable? I really honestly do. And so how do I think I got better? More comfortable? I mean, yeah, anyone can say that. But do I think the improvement is as great as I've seen with some people? No, because I've seen people who started out, they could barely speak, they were scared, they were shy. I was never that. And it kind of sounds like I'm glazing myself, and I kind of am. But, you know, my range of goodness is not as good. I've seen some people who went from honestly pretty bad to really freaking good. And I probably went from pretty good to, you know, hopefully better than pretty good at this point. I don't really know how to say I am now, but just getting comfortable and building a community. I mean, I think that's the key, right? Is just kind of being comfortable, bringing new people into the fold, and growing your community. But that's something I've had a lot of experience with as well. I just have done a lot of things in my life, and that's kind of the crazy part. So yeah, I think I'm certainly better than I was in 2009, the first time I ever streamed. Drastically better? That might be a stretch. I think I was pretty good back then as well. But you know, we keep on rolling, and you know, I think you do. I don't. You know, it's hard to say because obviously you can always get better, right? And I think, sure, I get even more and more comfortable, but I do think, you know, that it's okay to say I'm pretty comfortable where I'm at, and I'm not necessarily actively trying to get better. I mean, I think just it really is. It's tough because there's certainly things I could do, like technical things that I could stand to work on, absolutely. But as far as me being comfortable talking to people, I don't know if there's anyone more comfortable than me. And so I'm not going to act like, oh, I need to work on that or something. I think I'm as comfortable as can be talking to people, and I always will be because that's me. But, you know, I definitely think getting comfortable just with the idea of a camera pointing at you, it's very mind-blowing to me. People struggle with that part because I've been doing it so long, it's like second nature. I'm way more comfortable with a camera on me than not, you know, like I'm used to the idea of having a camera on me and pointed at me, and I'm very good at turning on. And it's funny because sometimes people that have never interacted with me outside of stream or seen me streaming, they're like, wow, are you depressed or something? But no, I'm really good at turning on the camera, the stream personality, the video personality, whatever it may be, and then turning it off and being just a normal, calm-ish guy. So I'm happy about that. I know I didn't necessarily answer your question perfectly there, Ethan, but I hope I did an okay job. Next up, horror tropes. So what kind of horror tropes do I like? Uh, I don't know if we answered this too good, and I still would say I don't really have what I feel like would be a great answer. The kind of horror tropes that I like are like things like in The Ring, where you have like a mystery to solve. Kind of, does that even count as a trope in horror? Like the mystery, got to solve this mystery or I die kind of thing, which I kind of was brought back with Smile. That's why Smile is like one of my favorite newer horror series, because that felt like The Ring, and I love The Ring. Uh, so yeah, I would say that's my favorite trope, is kind of the idea of a mystery. We got to solve this mystery in a certain amount of time. We're on the clock, right? We got a limited amount of time, and if we don't solve this mystery, we're dead as hell. So we better solve this mystery. I love that. We're going to different locations, different. There's one recently called Shelby Oaks, which is kind of like a mystery solving like that, which I didn't think the movie was great, especially for having, like, again, one of my favorite tropes, but I thought it was pretty good. So, I hope that answers the question. Okay, I still feel not that comfortable answering that question confidently. Anyway, Game Orca said, "What is your all-time least favorite video games?" And I still think it's funny that he had to do all these questions where he would make me say something bad. That's honestly, that's so worky. That's so worky. But anyway, my all-time least favorite video games, I talked about them a few times, but there's this game on the Super Nintendo called Chuck Rock, which I remember greatly struggling with as a child, and it was very frustrating to me. The Toy Story game on the Super Nintendo also was a big-time headache for me as a child. Even my dad couldn't beat that. And then there's the game Space Ace on the Super Nintendo as well. Those are the big ones that really bothered me as a child, that I was like, this is annoying. Like, I don't like this. Just games really that as a child they were really frustrating and difficult. And most of the time I'll say for the wrong reasons. Like, difficult games, nothing wrong with that. I like some difficulty in my games. That's great. But when it's like just annoying, I'm just like, really, dude? Like, really, you needed to make it like that frustrating, make my life that much of a hell? That's stupid. I don't like you. Why would you do that to me? So that's kind of how I feel about those. All right. Our next question is question number 9. And it says, "Why did you move to Las Vegas?" And this, believe it or not, in the year and a half since the first episode, this has not changed. The reason is because California is very expensive, and I don't know what the perception is like for people in other countries. Maybe it's like, I don't know. I'm not really sure what the perception would be like, but in the U.S., right, certain states are dramatically more expensive. We're talking like several multipliers more expensive for the same thing. Again, I'll use the example. My house is valued at about 1/3 of the price of my parents' house. My parents' house is half the size of my house, and it's like 50 years older or more, and it's very run down. It's not all that great. My house is brand new, beautiful, again, double the size, in a great neighborhood, has all this stuff going for it, and it's about 1/3 of the price of my parents' house. And so, yeah, the biggest reason would be the cost of living, being able to buy a house. For me, that's something I always aspired to, and I know not everyone, necessarily believes in that, but for me, that's always been the dream, to own a house. I said at one time, a couple years ago, I was sitting in the backyard on a Saturday drinking a beer, sitting with my dog in the backyard on a cool autumn day, and I said, I have achieved the dream. Being here in my own house, in my own yard, being able to do what I want, being able to display all my video games, my collectibles, all that stuff, which I could never have afforded a place in California. I mean, unless I hit the lottery or something. It's just unattainable to buy a place. And some people don't mind. They don't mind renting, moving around and having not a lot of space necessarily. And, for those people, I'm totally happy for you. But for me, it was the best thing ever when I have my own house. I can be as loud as I want. I don't have neighbors against my walls or something, living in an apartment. I have a yard. I can have a dog. I have tons of space for all my stuff. People come over and I can host them, and it's like actually there's plenty of room. Everyone's comfortable. It really is the dream. And again, it's not everyone's dream, but for me, that's the dream. Um, and you might be saying like, oh well, why didn't you move somewhere else even cheaper then? For me, it was about moving somewhere that was reasonably cheaper. For me, someone who likes to go out and do things. I couldn't live in like a place like, I don't know, Kansas or something where there's like nothing to do. I need to be able to go out and do things. I want to be close enough to my family. I can drive there in a few hours. It's not that bad. Or like a 45-minute flight. So it's very, very easy to see them. So I'm close to my family, still close enough. Much cheaper, has stuff to do. I guess as a bonus, I like warm weather. So a place where there's warm weather doesn't get super cold. That's a plus for me as well. So yeah, I would say all of those factors just made it the right place. And I lived in Nevada before for college, as many of you guys may know. So I've spent time in this state before. I love the state. And yeah, again, it's close. Bonus, there's no income tax in the state of Nevada, so I pay less taxes. I automatically got like a 12% raise when I moved from California to Nevada because of the no state income taxes. So that's a great perk, right? More money. My monthly spend is less than it was in California, and I have a house, and I'm just comfortable. I wanted to start my own life. I didn't need to be in the same city as my parents forever. So I'm happy that I was able to make my own life for me, somewhere away in a place where, again, I could buy a house and be here in my comfortable house. I can scream gamer all the time, and no one's gonna get mad at me for being noisy in an apartment. And yeah, I mean, I think there's many factors, but I think those are really the big ones. The next question says, how does one deal with loneliness even within a community? For instance, not having their own group of friends within the community, or feeling alone because they had no one to talk to, or they're scared to initiate a conversation. And I think this one is pretty interesting. I don't really fully remember how I answered. I think now my answer would probably be a little harsher than it was at the time. So maybe it will be. I don't really remember what I said the previous time. But my answer would be, unfortunately, like many, many things in life, if you want something, more than likely, sometimes you get lucky, right? Sometimes if you're an introvert, you might get adopted by an extrovert, so to speak, and they'll make the move for you. But most of the time, if you're feeling lonely, I mean, you might have to make a move yourself and try to get in with a group, or just try to talk, or try to get comfortable with it. And I think being willing or able to initiate a conversation, to be willing or able to talk to people, etc., is a skill that you can work on and practice, and that you get more comfortable with as you do it more. So try it. If there's someone you really want to talk to and you're a little scared, try it on people that maybe it's a little easier to first, and work your way up before talking to that. Maybe that person that's a little more scary, or you're more scared to initiate a conversation with. Get yourself comfortable, and then just try and keep doing it, and get yourself comfortable with it. Because again, how do you deal with that? I mean, you either say, okay, I'm okay being lonely, or you say, I'm going to put myself in an uncomfortable position to get what I want. And that's kind of what you have to do. You have to put yourself in an uncomfortable position to be able to achieve those things that you want. And there's really no easy way around it. You step up, you make your move. If you don't make your move, then, some people are okay with that. And maybe you're okay with not necessarily having like a tight-knit group like that. But you don't have to be. And you can... I'm not saying it's like easy and that, oh, you should just do it like that, but it is something that there's really not an easy way around it. Like for me, there's probably I don't really remember if there was a day when I was really scared to talk to people. But I think a lot of it obviously is about self-worth. You need to see yourself as someone. When I message someone, I feel like they're getting value as well. Like I know I don't think I'm annoying or anything, right? So it's like, well, I'm a cool person messaging them, so they are getting something out of this as well. It's not like I'm bothering them or something. So I guess part of it will come down to that self-worth of feeling like you're not a bother. And I guess being around people that make you feel like you're not a bother. I know the close people in my life. I work very hard to hopefully do what I can to make them know that they're not a bother. Now, I'm not saying they don't still feel like bothers because, listen, people's brains are mean. But I know from my perspective, I'm doing everything I can to make sure that they're not feeling like a bother. And I would say on, anyone listening, maybe they don't have that problem with initiating conversations with people, but it's still important, I think, that you make sure that you're doing your part in making sure your friends feel valued and feel comfortable, even if that's not something you're good at, which I know this is kind of a tangent to that question, but I think that's something that people should work on as well, is being able to properly appreciate their friends. And again, that's a skill. It's scary to say, hey, I really like and appreciate having you around, etc. That kind of thing is scary to do as well. But it's something very important that I think you should try to get comfortable with as well, to help those people who maybe have some self-doubts or some struggles to be able to feel more comfortable and say, hey, I really am valued here. I'm not a nuisance, or I'm not a burden. People like having me around, and so that's good. So yeah, I think definitely it's just practice. Keep practicing, work on it, and get yourself more and more comfortable. And eventually, maybe you'll reach the point where it's easy and you can just do it all the dang time. Because I know for me, I don't really have any issues messaging anyone at any time. So uh, give it a shot. I believe in you, and I completely have faith that anyone can do that. It just takes practice. All right. The next question is, say something nice about yourself. And this is like the easiest question ever. But, maybe something nice that I would have said a year and a half ago is a little different. So let's, that was a really different time in my life. It was a tougher time in my life. I think I'm doing better now. So I would say something nice about myself is that I have gained a lot of patience and I think I look at things with a more nurturing, gentle touch than I would have a year and a half ago. I was a little more cynical, I feel like. And I've been able to take some time to kind of reflect on myself and just be a more gentle person, which is what I am at my core. And maybe what's the right word? Some experiences or some uh, paths that I took in life led me to kind of stray from that a little bit. Um, and so I think my patience and my general like nurturing and like desire to care for others it is really at an all-time high. And I think I've done really, really well in that, particularly in the last 6-ish months, few months. I don't know how many months, but I think I've been very locked into that, and it's what's really, really important to me. And so I'm very happy that I have been able to kind of lock in on that. It's again a core personality trait of mine to be able to be that nurturing kind of person, kind, caring, soft-spoken, kind of gentle. I do want to be that, which is quite the contrast, from my vibrant personality I have sometimes. But like being able to harness that energy most of the time is very, very important to me. And I think I'm at a point where I'm harnessing it as good as I ever have in my life, probably. Um, which I would say like my peak of that would have been like around my college age ish, like around, I don't know, 2010 ish. So the fact that I've been able to get back to a point where I can say maybe I'm at my best I've ever been in that regard is a good feeling. And I think I've made some great strides to get there and to get to a point where I can say I've really harnessed that part of my personality and I've been utilizing it well, and I will continue to. I'm confident in that. All right. The next question says, what is something you want to improve on your stream? I don't really remember, again, what I answered a year and a half ago, but I have to assume I probably talked about doing more things, like more, well, I'm sure I talked some stuff about, the first thing that always comes to mind is like technical stuff, which is not my forte, as you guys know. So having the idea that I want to do stuff, like, it's weird though, like I want to do that stuff, but I really don't also, like, it's not really my thing or my brand. Like, I don't want to have to hide behind 8 trillion high-tech redeems because like, I don't think I can entertain people on my own. And maybe that's a harsh way of looking at it, but that's always the way I've looked at it, is like, if you can't just, like, I could sit in a room with no, like, a dead silent room and captivate an audience. I don't need to have like a bunch of stuff popping up on the screen all the time that gets the, well, I mean, maybe I do, the ADD zoomers and stuff, but I feel confident in my ability to literally walk into a room full of people with no redeems, or like I would give speeches in real life and be pretty captivating. So I don't feel like I need all that stuff. So technical stuff, I mean, would it be cool to have? Yeah. I mean, just to be hip, but I don't know. What do I want to improve? I think I'm at the point where and this might be bad to say, I don't think I really want to improve a whole lot. I mean, this is I announced it recently. Like, this is like season 8 of the vaRAIety stream, right? If we go by each year, right? 2019 was season 1. Now we're in 2026. This is season 8. Like, we've been cooking, and for a long time. Cut my schedule up for years without barely missing a day. And I think I just want to keep doing my thing for however much longer I'm going to keep doing it. I think I got some gas in the tank still. So we're going to keep on moving along. But I don't know. I don't know what I would want to improve, if anything. Nothing comes to mind that I want to improve. I just want to keep doing my best, and maybe someday I'll get a burst of inspiration and say, wow, I need to do all these things. But right now, I'm just going to keep doing my thing. We're doing the throwback series right now, so I think that's a good callback to some of our, maybe quote unquote prime days or better days, whatever you want to call it. And so I'm doing that. And would it be nice to have some more technical stuff? Maybe. But do I really want that? I don't really think I do. I just want to keep getting more cool people into the community, and I hope that people will come and join and stick around and be a part of us. That's really what I want the most. All right. Our next question says, who would be your first podcast guest? And you already know, because the episode has passed, but it was King Panda. And, I think choosing your first guest is a difficult thing in and of itself, like who the perfect guest is, etc. But I think going with someone a little more outside of our community was a little more, it was kind of refreshing in a way that our first perspectives of the podcast weren't kind of from, I don't think we really have an echo chamber in my community or anything like that, but it's an outsider point of view, because a lot of the time in my community, I think we are a little insulated. There's a lot of people in my community who only watch me, and on Twitch, that is. And so I think there is some value in us getting that outside voice. I mean, sure, it would have been easy for me to have Chilimex or Leo or Kel or someone on as the first guest, but I think we did an interesting take, kind of going outside the box there, maybe in an unexpected path. And that episode is still my number 1 most viewed. It's the number 1 longest episode in terms of like the length. I think we went about 4 hours. Was it more than 4? I don't know. It was a long time. And it was definitely one of those episodes where we just kept talking forever, and we probably could have kept going quite a while longer, but eventually we just figured, actually the way we filmed it in those days was I uploaded on Sundays, and we actually just ran out of time. Like, King and I were talking, I think, on that day until 2 or 3 p.m., and I uploaded at 6 p.m. So I think the only reason we even stopped was because I needed time to edit it. I definitely prefer the Monday. So good idea, Cal. I'm sure you're watching, listening still. So good idea on the Monday upload, just because it makes it easier for me to finish everything over the weekend and get it out on Monday morning, because I can just get the release scheduled on Sunday night. Makes it way easier. I remember there were some times when I had to rush home. I would like go to the movies on a Sunday, and I would have to rush home to get the episode up. It was funny. But now it's just easy breeze, and we upload on Mondays. I mean, I upload them on Sundays or a few days before, whatever, and get it ready for Monday, and it's great. But then again, at that time we were doing a weekly podcast, so it was a lot more challenging. Now I'm just living the easy, lazy life of once a month. Isn't that crazy? But I definitely feel like less is more, and that's the reason why I kept my stream schedule the way I did. Have there been times where I could have done 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days of streaming in a row or whatever? Sure, absolutely. But I want something that's sustainable, and I think once a month podcast is sustainable for me. Just like I think twice a week streams are sustainable for me, and they have been sustainable for me. So I'm a big believer in don't overcommit yourself and then you just disappoint people. Just do what you can do, and that should be enough for anyone, I feel like. And I think it has been. So I'm grateful. All right, favorite quote is the next question, and I answered this. I think King talked about some Kingdom Hearts quotes and some other stuff, and my favorite quote is still. I'm looking at my wall right now because I have the little thing from Winnie the Pooh that says, "If ever there is a tomorrow where we're not together, there is something you must always remember. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. But the most important thing is, even if we're apart, I'll always be with you." And that's always something I've held dear to my heart because I truly believe in that kind of thing and up and bringing up others to the point where I think pretty much anyone listening to this knows my feelings about uplifting others and wanting them to succeed, and just kind of make people feel more confident in themselves and just feel better about themselves, etc. And I think that quote hits close to home because it's the idea is that someday, there I hope I've touched many people in life and had a positive impact on many people. And many of those people I'm not in regular communication with. They're fallen out of my life for whatever reason, blah, 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 right? And the idea is that that my words would still resonate with them, right? Even though I can't be there. Because I want to touch a lot of lives, and there's never going to be like, and I kind of talked about this before, but like the idea of staying in contact with everyone forever that you ever meet in your life is not feasible, right? So people are going to come, people are going to go. But I wouldn't want my words to be forgotten or that they're not valuable anymore because we don't have that relationship anymore. We don't talk anymore. The words, I would hope, would still have value. They would still resonate. And those people that I have hopefully brought up or motivated in life would still be able to think about those times and remember those words that I've said to them, those conversations we've had, the discussions we've had, and remember those things and still be able to feel what they felt in those times, that they're still, even though I'm not, maybe not there to remind them, they're still, well, all of that's still true. And they can still feel good about themselves and still feel, worthwhile and feel like they are strong and smart and brave and all those good things in life. And it doesn't, yeah, I guess just the idea that people come and go in your life because I know there's people in my life that I regret aren't a part of my life anymore. And there's probably people that regret that I'm not a part of their life anymore. That I think about them and they think about me, etc. Blah, blah, blah. And like, yeah, the idea just of people moving on in life obviously in a perfect world, we'd love if we could just stay in contact with everyone that's ever touched us in life. But I also don't think that's necessarily viable. And, no one has time for everyone that they've ever met again. When I'm 80 years old, imagine how many people I will have met and interacted with and touched their lives maybe or had experiences with. You think that when I'm like 80, I'm going to have time for everyone I've ever met? No, it's just natural. People come and go. And they come into your life for a period of time and then maybe they go. And if you're lucky, you'll have some people who stick around for prolonged periods. Sometimes you'll have people that are part of your life for a long, long time and then they go away. Sometimes you'll have people that are in your life for a short amount of time and then they go away. Sometimes someone might enter your life and you don't think much of it at the time, and there's someone that ends up being a core part of your life for many, many years or forever. And you just never really know. And that's why it's important to appreciate and value everyone that is, that someone that means something to you, that is a friend of yours that you care for. Don't take anyone for granted. Appreciate them all. And so, yeah, that's my quote. It hasn't really changed. It's still something that's very important to me. And I didn't actually have the wall. I don't remember if I had the wall scroll on my wall when I did that first episode. It would have been probably around that time I got it. Maybe I got it after I did the podcast episode. I'm not sure. But I'm happy it's there. All right. The next question says, what do you do when you feel like a specific person might not think highly or well of you? Sometimes might be just overthinking, sometimes not. So I think this is something that my opinion or thoughts are going to be pretty similar to what they were on that previous time. So there's always this idea out there, right? Like, not everyone's going to like you, and that's okay. And I do agree with that to some extent, but also I understand it's not really that simple. Just like, oh, just don't care that someone maybe that you care a lot about or that's close in your life. Just don't even care that they don't like you or you think they don't like you. That doesn't seem very viable, right? Like it's wishful thinking. In a perfect world, again, it'd be great if we could just do that. But realistically speaking, right? Let's say you're in a friend group and one of the people is a little bit cold or a little bit maybe not the nicest to you. You're just gonna let that sit forever and just ignore it and say, "Oh well, it's fine if they don't like me." Like I don't think that's a very realistic way to look at it. So I would say, well, I guess there's two different options, right? There's one where it's like in a friend group, right? Let's say I have a friend group made up of 10 people. Most of them are pretty nice to me, cool to me, chill to me. One of them I just don't get good vibes from. Maybe the right thing is to talk to them. Or maybe you get an opinion of someone else in the group who's closer and you go, man, they've been giving me weird vibes. Like, are they doing that to you as well? Or like, I don't know. Like, you just need to be strategic, obviously. Like, don't like go to someone you trust in that group, right? Like I'll be honest, many people in my friend groups ask me, "Hey, what does blank think of me?" Because they've seemed a little off to me, and like people come to me because they can trust me, right? And I think it's important you have if it's someone in a friend group that you have someone like that that you can go to and say, man, I've been getting weird vibes from this person. Have you been getting that? Or what do you think? Like, how, I don't know. I'm just like, have a discussion. If you don't have that option, talk to the person directly and just say, I know it might be me. And that's if you feel like you can have that discussion with them. If you don't, maybe it's too far gone. And you just have to accept that, that you're not going to, that you might have off vibes from them, It is what it is. If you don't feel like you can have that discussion, that's a problem. So either have that discussion with them or someone trusted with that you trust in that group. If it's someone on the outside, like they're not in your friend group, it's just someone who maybe I don't know you see around Twitch or you see around cons. I don't know, like I those kind of people. I don't think I would give a crap about. I'm hoping that this question means like someone specific in a group that you care about. Because yeah, if it's just a rando, I mean, sorry, yeah, not everyone's gonna like you, and you can't really help them. It's again comes back to having some self confidence, some self worth. Hey, I'm not a bad person. This person doesn't like me. Well, that's their loss because I think I'm pretty cool, and these other people think I'm pretty cool too. So, it is what it is. So that's what I would say to do. Which there's not really a perfect answer, but I think that's as close as we're gonna get. TBH. All right, and we're on the last question now, and it says, what would you do when you have a friend that you consider very talented, but he himself doesn't believe in that, and he's very demotivated, like a musician or artist, etc. And I mean, I think I don't I assume I'm probably answering similarly to how I did back in the day, but the first key is there's only so much you can do, right? And it doesn't make you a bad person or a bad friend or bad at motivating others if you can't convince someone of something that you can very clearly see. And that's something that I have struggled with in my life because I oftentimes feel like I should just be magic and be able to make anyone feel good about themselves and feel confident and etc. And sometimes that it just doesn't work that way, no matter how hard I try. And it's easy to feel like you're a failure. Like, how come I can't get them to see this? But realistically, there's a limit what you can do. You can't force them to understand. You can do your best and you can give it your best shot to make someone in any regard, whether it be something like that or whether it's just about making them see that they have value to you as a person or as a friend. You can't force anyone to feel a certain way. Wouldn't life be much easier if we could? Alas, we cannot. And so you just have to accept that you can just do your best. Some people will be convinced. You'll be able to get through to some people. And some people you might spend years hyping up. You might spend years trying to get them to believe in themselves more. And they might never, ever feel that way. And it's okay that you understand that, again, there's a limit to what you can do. And you shouldn't feel like a failure. You shouldn't feel like you let them down. You shouldn't feel like you let anyone down because you really tried your best. And as long as you're putting in the effort, I mean, that's all, again, all you can do. And you can try and you can try and you can try and you can try. And at some point you have to worry about yourself first. If you're putting too much energy into something that isn't helping you, right? Like if you're hurting yourself actively by like, man, I'm putting all this into them and then they still say, oh, I'm horrible at art. I've been supporting them like every day and telling them how great their art is and encourage them to do more and blah, blah, blah. And they still feel like they're crap. Like, I'm worthless as a friend. I can't even get through to them. You shouldn't feel like that. And I encourage you to take a step back in a situation like that if you need to, and say, my own well-being comes first, and this is having a negative effect on my mental health because I'm doing all this and I don't feel like they're appreciating it because, I mean, it doesn't seem like they're appreciating it because they just say, oh, you're wrong. I don't feel like that, you know? And it's important to just be able to say, you know what? I need to take some time for myself and reevaluate what I'm doing because I'm putting a lot of effort into something and I don't feel like I'm getting what I'm looking for from it. And I can't be killing myself for someone else that, you know, that you may not be able to get through to, even if you want to. You know, we can all want that, but it doesn't mean we're going to get it because, you know, in life, you don't always get what you want. And that's important to understand. But anyway, my friends, I think that's about all we have. And I hope you enjoyed our little trip down memory lane. I think it was a fun idea, and maybe another time we'll do another episode and we'll just kind of go through some of the questions because, you know, in these early episodes we had a lot of questions, and I thought it was it was fun, right? It's fun to have questions and go through them and stuff, and with some fresh perspectives. I know I've changed as a person in the last year and a half. Maybe not a ton of change, but there's been some changes, and it's just a slightly different perspective, and I think that's pretty neat. Maybe you do too. Maybe you don't. Maybe you think, right, you, what a lazy, stupid idea, you dumb idiot. I hate you. If you think that, just keep that to yourself because I don't need that kind of negativity in my life, okay? Constructive criticism only. And the only criticism you're allowed to give is, right, you, this should have been like 8 hours longer because I wanted to listen to you talk all day. Ooh. But yeah. That's about it, guys. We'll be back in February with our next episode, episode 33 coming. I've got some ideas for things cooking, so just stay tuned, bear with me, and we'll get there. We'll get there together, I promise. Until then, thank you very extremely much. I appreciate you, as always, for listening. 32 episodes is not an insignificant amount, so we'll keep rocking, and thanks for always being here with me. Much love, and I will talk to you soon.